Hey y'all, well today on the channel we got safety alerts that are going on out there on the Appalachian Trail. We got how things are going with the through hikers direct from their mouth. We got hikers that got off, hikers that got off because they're done, summited Katahdin, and a whole bunch of news. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So what do we got first up? We got Tie-Dye. He is working his way through Vermont and sends in this update.
Greetings and good morning, Ramdino. This is Tie-Dye and I'm at the top of Stratton Mountain in the fire tower. Incredible view up here. I have been pleasantly surprised so far. The mud in Vermont has not been bad at all, but the bugs, man, they're relentless. Take care. Bye.
Princess Peace, she checks in and has officially kicked off the southbound leg of her flip-flop. So she was going Nobo, decided she needed to flip up to Katahdin. She just needed to change of pace. And now she is summited Katahdin and she is continuing the mission. So she's in the 100-mile wilderness. She attempted the subo attempt in 2022. So she says that having a turnaround short of the sign in 2022, but now she's hit that sign and continuing on, and it was just really incredibly humbling, kind of a moment of redemption for her. So that's very cool, Princess Peach. Sonny Jim, he reports in, says that there's a good contingent of hikers still coming through the Shenandoahs. The hiker bubble shows that they're really more north of there, the big part of the bubble is, but says the heat is finally broken, the heat wave, but the bugs are still pretty bad out there. Said everybody's having fun. He does keep hearing of fellow hikers getting off the trail for various reasons, a lot of injuries, illness, and just mentally tired of the trail. And Virginia can be tough mentally because that's the state that it has the most miles of any state. People kind of feel like they heard it was flat. It ain't flat, I can promise you. And so, you know, people coming through Virginia there, they just kind of get what's called the Virginia blues because you're used to crossing over borders either every week or every so often and when you're heading into Virginia. But then all of a sudden you're in Virginia forever. So mentally it just bogs the minds down. Tick Magnet, he ran into some regulars from the channel, sends in this video.
Well, hitchhiking today got picked up by Boston and OG here. And they're also update Ramdino weekly. So we all kind of knew each other from Ramdino's channel. So, that's right. Anyway, how's it going, Ram?
That is always cool to see regulars from the channel that give us, or even folks that are maybe not regular, but report in ever so often, but to see them come together on the trail. Very cool. Tick Magic says he's heading north out of Mount Washington to Madison Springs Hut, then on Tuesday across Madison Gulf into Pinkham Notch. He says he has been suffering from increasingly worsening bronchitis, and rain is forecast for the next couple days. Not sure when he's going to tackle the Wildcats and the Carters. And we'll hear from him again here in just a little bit. And then Alpha Metro, they sent in a special update this week.
Hey Metro, have you seen my element?
You mean the lemon lime one?
Yeah, that's the one.
The one that's got like all the electrolytes that you need for any type of backpacking trip?
That's right, Metro. It's got sodium, potassium, magnesium, and no sugar. No junk, just all the good stuff you need to get back on trail.
Yeah, it's hot out here. That's the one I'm looking for. It's not in my bag.
I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Hey, no need to borrow your buddy's Element drink mix. If you'll go to drinklmnt.com/Ramdino, they'll give you a free sample pack with any order. That's drinklmnt.com/Ramdino. Go and get you some.
Haven't seen it.
Never a good thing to go and steal stuff out of your hiking buddy's bag, because that may happen to you, right? And then Dog Tag, he has left Pennsylvania. He sends in a video.
All right, Ramdino, this isn't the best place to videotape, but hey, we're in New Jersey, and we're still moving north. So, Dog Tag out.
So Dog Tag had a video announcing that his arrival into Harper's Ferry, but then he had to take a yellow blaze, which means he had to get on the road and go into Frederick, Maryland and have his gallbladder removed. So Maybe it had something to do with the 30 pounds of dog tags that he's been carrying since Springer. But dog tag, you get the prize for the worst surgery so far, and I hope that's the worst run of the year. I don't know how you injure a gallbladder. Right now, Sour Patch is carrying those dog tags for them, and so that they can continue that journey north. But you folks at home that are planning a through hike, shedding weight by removing organs is not the best way to get rid of weight. Get a lighter sleeping bag or less clothes or food or something, but don't go to the doctor and have organs removed. Dog Tag did say that he wanted to end his hike with everything that he had, so he wanted his gallbladder dried so that he could put it in his pack and take it with him, but unfortunately it wasn't possible because it burst on the way during surgery. So anyway, Dog Tag, we appreciate everything you're doing to bring awareness to the suicide first responders and military out there in the world. So thanks a lot for taking that extra weight. Uncle Bill and Pace Setter, they are coming into New York. They sent in a couple updates. I missed it from last week, so I'm going to go ahead and include it because it includes a special shout out.
Hey Ramdino, Uncle Bill and Pace Setter here. We're about 10 miles away from New Jersey.
Woo!
We're done with the rocks.
Almost.
We're gonna run into Water Gap, Delaware Water Gap, and get some mail, and then hit the trail. But we wanted to give a shout out to Danielsville, Pennsylvania. I don't think many hikers go there anymore, but we ran into two businesses: the Blue Mountain Diner, amazing food, really nice people, hiker friendly, and they let you camp for free in their lawn or in the pavilion in the back. And they have a porta potty out there, super clean. And then the grocery store down at the stoplight, she has been serving hikers for over 40 years and has amazing deli with sub sandwiches that you can pack out, which we did, and things like gas cans and hiker snacks. So good job, Danielsville. If you see this, it's worth the 0.7 walk down the road to get there. Any final words there, Pace Setter, on Pennsylvania? No.
I love Pennsylvania, but my feet are tired of the rocks.
We're gonna get out of here tomorrow. We'll talk to you later.
Have a nice day.
Hey Ramdino, Pace Setter and Uncle Bill here. We're getting ready to cross into New York. The trail's been much better than Pennsylvania. Still rocky, but we're having a great time. It took 1,300 miles, but we've seen 3 adult bears and 3 cubs in the past 3 days. So that was fun. A few rattlesnakes, nothing of note. We're out early today, and the weather's great. A little humid, but having a great time. So that's our update. We'll see you in Connecticut, I guess.
Thank you for all you do.
Uncle Bill also wanted to warn everybody that are coming through the swamps there near Vernon, New Jersey, to have long sleeve, long pants, head nets, and bug spray. He says the mosquitoes are terrible. They had ants and mosquitoes in their tent. So that is never a good time out there. It's bad enough you got to worry about, being wet and cold. Now you got to be about wet and cold, stingy and itchy. So just remember that. And then also he indicated from Vernon back about 20 miles, make sure you secure your food, because one night they had a bear cub that was separated from his mom, wandered around in the woods close to their tent for about an hour. And they have seen bears for every day for the past 4 days. Said all the adult bears had cubs except for one. So they had seen like 8 bears in 4 days, whereas before that they had seen no bears. So if you're up there in that section around New Jersey, northern Pennsylvania, coming into New York, there's bears in there. And if you watched last year, you'll remember Arkansas. He was a thru hiker that had to get off trail because they had an F2 come through his town in Arkansas, wiped out his house, wiped out his place of employment. He had to come back and rebuild and help with his place of employment. And now my understanding is that he asked for a leave of absence to finish his hike or to start one over, and they said no, and he's like, I'm going anyway. So kudos to him for doing that, and looking forward to following along with his hike this year. And he sends in this video.
Hi Ramdino, this is Arkansas coming to you from Harper's Ferry, the start of day one for my flip-flop to Maine, and then back to Harper's Ferry down to Georgia. For your viewers, I started this hike last year, got to Pearisburg when a tornado struck my town. It damaged my home and where I work, and I was forced off the trail by an act of God. But now I'm back. I've made some changes. Gosh, I hope there's no more tornadoes. I'm heading up to Ed Garvey's shelter. Hot and humid, but the day's beautiful and looking great. Thanks for everybody. By the way, I do have a YouTube channel, the Arkansas Hikers, a widow's tribute, as I'm doing this hike to honor my late wife, Jamie, who died in a car accident. I love her very much, and I'm celebrating her life every day and every video on my YouTube channel. Bye, everybody.
And Straps sends in a video, an update, and it looks like possibly Boston and OG finally caught up to him.
Hey Ramdino, it's Straps here, and I found Boston and OG in town.
I'm falling behind a little bit, so I gotta change my socks with Blue Jay socks so I can catch up with Straps and be in first place.
I don't know where in the world all these flippity floppers came from.
Anyways, Ramdino, we're doing well. The trail's been good. It's a little wet, but we're indoors right now. And thanks for what you do, and thanks for Boston and OG joining me again.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right about that. It looks like that Boston's lost a lot of weight and gotten shorter, and OG's changed his hairstyle and his hair color and has gotten younger. I think that was AI, artificial imposters. Actually, that was 2 of the 6-pack hikers. So pretty cool to see them. And then, of course, we've got the real OG in Boston checking in this week.
Hello, Ramdino, OG, Boston.
Hey, Ramdino.
Captain Morgan.
Hey, Ramdino.
Hey, we met this guy going up the trail today. He's done 22 miles. We've done like 2 feet. But follow him on his journey. Next month, he's going to start his own journey from south to north, doing a supported.
Going for the fastest known time.
North to south.
North to south.
Southbound.
All right. Follow him along. And just so you know, the trail's beautiful. We're coming up on Little Haystack, and we're enjoying it so far. Got the good times ahead.
This man's a legend.
That's right. Good luck to him. Out.
All right. Thanks for what you do, Ramdino.
And for you folks, the Captain Morgan that introduced himself there with OG in Boston, FKT means fastest known time. So he is trying to break the record of the fastest known time on the Appalachian Trail. And so I guess they crossed paths there, and he took the time to make that. Most of the time they don't take the time to do that. So last year the record was set for men and women by Tara Dower. So we're going to see if he can break her record this year. And then folks, we got off. Well, I said we'd hear from Tick Maggin again, and we're going to hear from him again now because he is off trail.
Okay, I've reached the summit of Mount Madison, rock-strewn place today. Sure, I guess this way.
He sounded awful in that update there. So, and it also looks like that was Mount Madison. It looks like he went the wrong way because normally you follow the Cairns or Cairns, however you want to call it, and it looks like he went the wrong way. So, but we got this video when he got to Wi-Fi, so he found his way back to wherever he was, where he had Wi-Fi. But he got very sick in the white, said he was diagnosed with acute bronchitis, and that happened while he was descending from Mount Washington to Madison Springs hut, and he realized he was getting very sick, coughed all night at the hut. Sure, he made a lot of friends there, and he thought he was not going to be able to make it out on his own power, and it was next day it was coming down in buckets, so he was really worried about that, making his bronchitis worse. However, the rain stopped to a drizzle, so he was able to get out there on his own. Still had to hitchhike from Pinkham Notch, to Pinkham Notch, where his car was parked. And he got a ride from Yogi, who was a member of the AT class of 2024. And so right now he's got 180 miles to go since he hiked last year, 134.5 miles in Maine. And then done, meaning they have summited, and that's the Kentucky Gas Boys. That's Nature Beast and Papa Bear. So they completed their journey. They started on March 25th, and it looks like they finished on July 2nd. So congratulations to them. Love the flag up there on the peak of Summit. Don't see many of those up there. So good to see that, and congratulations to the Kentucky Gas Boys. So some news we got coming from a viewer, Stephen Bishop. So Stephen Bishop was out for a section hike around the Davenport Gap into Hot Springs, and of course he went through the Standing Bear Hostel there and sends us in these pictures and information from Standing Bear. He indicated that these pictures here shows where basically where it flooded out, so you can see the whole complex there pretty much got flooded, and then there was this one structure that got knocked down that kind of channeled the water over to the main house, and then he also annotated there where the flood level was in going into the bunk rooms, as well as going into some other houses on campus there. Of course, they lost their stage and a lot of other stuff there. So these are pictures actually taken after the cleanup in there. So they're still cleaning up, and right now Maria can't take as many hikers as they were taking at one time. But if you want to stay there, if you'll contact her ahead of time to let her know that, to make sure that there is availability there, because she's limited on how many people that can stay right there now, with the damage still under repair. The road from the south from 40 coming up there, my understanding is it's still closed. You can get up there according to Steve, you can get up there with 4x4, but you can't get up there without 4x4, and they're still working on that. And of course, ongoing efforts to get as much as possible Standing Bear back to the status quo. So good luck to them up there. Then we got Spinalis Cougar. He sends in a safety alert from the trail. Now Spinalis Cougar's in Vermont, and this is actually specifically on the long trail which shares the treadway with the Appalachian Trail, but this was for the northern part of the long trail where it splits off the Appalachian Trail. Apparently there's a guy up there named Joshua who is exhibiting erratic behavior, including threatening people with a knife. So of course he can follow that trail right down to the Appalachian Trail. So that is a safety alert that he sends out. And the Green Mountain Club, who is the trail club for the long trail and the Appalachian Trail through that area, they send in that safety alert. And so here's a screenshot of the guy. So you take a screenshot, put it on your phone, so that if you see somebody that looks like this or somebody threatening, then you know what he looks like. And then that way you're urged to call local authorities. 911 works just fine if you're doing that. Right now there's nobody that we're aware of that's been threatened on the AT proper, but he can follow that trail down. He was last seen driving a red Subaru, don't know what model, and he may have temporarily left the area, but he's considered likely to return. The Vermont State Police confirmed Joshua has a history of mental health issues and may not initially appear suspicious as he blends in with other hikers. Local authorities are advising hikers to avoid him, and if you see him, then you need to report that sighting. Note where you are. Spinalis Cougar also reports a hiker's report in the trail is now generally dry, so it's not too bad muddy except for the spots that typically are in Vermont. He says they also report the bugs aren't too bad compared to Massachusetts and Connecticut. Though the deer flies are still annoying, they should be going away here shortly. He said some water sources are drying up, so be sure you're checking far out, as well as making comments on dried up water sources or flowing water sources on far out. And he is now seeing sobos on a regular basis coming up there. His stats that he's collected for the week, his earliest hiker coming Nobo that stepped off from Springer was Step by Step. He was bag tag number 142. He left on February 22nd. And his fastest, meaning the one that stepped off the latest, is Nobo, is 5 lives. His bag tag was number 2018, and he left Springer on April 12th. So he's getting it coming up through there. Pack-weights range from 14.8 for Step by Step to 5 lives, who's at 42.6. So 5 lives, it looks like, is the fastest, even though he's got the heavier weight out there. I don't know what the heck he's carrying at 42.6 pounds unless he's got an anvil for blacksmithing along the way. But anyway, he did say that several of the folks that showed up on his stats list had reported they had been involved in the norovirus, and that makes sense because all those that had left sometime, that had the norovirus, left sometime in April, and so that would put them up in, I suppose, up in Virginia area around June or so. So we know that's when norovirus in May and June was pretty prevalent up around the Pearisburg area. Of course, the bubble is north of Pearisburg now. It's up more up in northern Pennsylvania, coming into New Jersey and New York right now. And then Whispers, our northern correspondent, he sends in that East B Hill Road, that is just north of Grafton Notch Mange, will be closed from July 14th to about the end of July. They're doing some culvert replacement work up there. He's also heard on vlogs that the Libby House Barn Hostel is going to be closing. That's in Gorham's, going to be closing at the end of this year. So that's kind of leaving a big hole for hostels up in the Pinkham Notch to the end of the Rattle River Trail up there. Because we also lost, I believe this year, we lost the Quantum Vortex hostel up there. So you folks that are thinking about doing a hostel somewhere, that would be a good place to do it up in the Pinkham Notch area. Also had a few comments from folks where I had noted a river gauge over a river up there, and the river was one that phonetically I am not great at pronouncing. So I've been told it's pronounced Piscataquik. I've been told it's Piscataqua, Piscataqua, Piscataquis, and Piscataquis. So all of those start with piss, so I think I can get that part right. So I'm just going to call it the Piss River. Be sure whenever you're using that for a water source, you're definitely boiling your water or using some type of water filtration for that. And then Jeff Stewart, a viewer, he checks in and warned folks around the Pearisburg, Virginia area that they have hiker-eating rattlers. So he took a picture of this rattler right on the trail up there around Pearisburg. So I don't know if Sobos hadn't got there yet, so it either was a Nobo or maybe a flip-flopper. So y'all folks let me know if we're missing somebody out there on the trail so I can contact their next of kin. And then Spruce Peak Shelter, which is Nobo Mile 1,655, is going to be closed for the rest of this week into next week. The Green Mountain Club there is replacing the seal logs on the bottom that have rotted out, and that's typically the first ones that go because they get splashed with water coming off the roof and just right down at the bottom. So those are ones that have to be replaced most of the time. Tinning is also not available, I guess because they've got demo material there and new material going there, and they're working there. However, the privy will remain open, so if you use those nasty things, then you can use it there. And then starting on July 15th, Katahdin Ironworks K1 Road is going to be closed on the east side there for a road project near Brownville. That the closure is expected to last about 4 weeks. So this is the Appalachian Trail and around the Gulf Haggis area. That's only going to be accessible from the west via Greenville and the Hedgehog Checkpoint Gatehouse. So the AT crosses the K1 Road there, Nobo Mile 2,113. One of the few places the trail is accessible by car in the 100-mile wilderness. Folks, that is a lot of information. Thanks for hanging in there. Go and check out my playlist right here if you've missed anything from this year. And so far, you can go and check those out. As always, share this video with other like-minded folks. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Appreciate you, and we hope to see you out there.